What's going on, people? What's going on, y'all? All right, another open panel. And I have some more to say about the topic of my prior video in regards to the assassination of the Haitian president named Jovenel Moise. In my last video, I showed you guys a screenshot of this of an alleged gang member slash alleged revolutionary named Jimmy Charizier, whose nickname is known as Barbecue around Haiti. And I stated how he's a very controversial figure. Now, I stated that he might be named as a suspect, to the assassination of the Haitian president. And reason being is because the federal government wants to take him down anyway. When I mean the federal government, not only the Haitian government, but the US government wants to take him down. Well, with the Haitian government, it's split because you have members of Jovenel Moise's administration who allegedly is affiliated with Jimmy Charizier and his group called the G9, and allegedly, once again, have paid Jimmy Charizier to intimidate or kill members or kill Haitian citizens or anyone who oppose Jovenel Moise. Now, the thing is that there's other members within the Haitian government who wanted, especially the Haitian National Police, members of the police force who want Jimmy Charizier in prison or ousted out of Haiti. And even members of the US federal government want Jimmy Charizier in prison and ousted out of Haiti for the murders that he's been allegedly involved with. Now, Jimmy Charizier, like I said in the prior video, he was a former police officer in Haiti, got fired from the Haitian police force, then by some people became involved in a life of crime and became involved in drugs and gangs. But according to Jimmy Charizier himself, he claimed to be a revolutionary who in his organization called the G9 compromised of ex-gang members turned revolutionary. But other people within Haiti stating that he's lying, that he's only using the whole revolutionary thing as a front to cover up the fact that he's just a drug dealer, drug lord, / gang member, kingpin, who's being paid by Jovenel Moise to just terrorize people all over Haiti. So there's a lot of people who want Jovenel Moise, not Jovenel Moise, this guy that I'm talking about, Jimmy Charizier, aka Barbecue, to be gone, either executed or tried in prison. So what I'm saying is that since there are people within the Haitian government, within the American government, and even the Haitian people themselves want him out, someone might probably utilize him as a fall guy or as a person involved in the assassination of President Jovenel Moise as a way to put him behind bars. Now, as of right now, I don't know who was involved in the assassination of the current Haitian president. But as time passed, we'll all find out. Now it's time to talk about something else. It's an open panel, so of course we'll talk about different topics. And anybody want to come on? If any one of you want to come on my panel, you have to give me your email address, because invitations are only, like the title says, invitations by email only. That's it. And I have to be and it has to be people that I'm familiar with. If I'm not familiar with you, you're not coming on the panel. So once again, if you guys would like to come on the panel, you have to put your email address in the chat, and I'll email you the link to the panel. And once again, if I'm not familiar with you, you're not coming on the panel. So the only people that's coming on my panel are people that I'm familiar with. But on to another topic. I made a video on Sunday titled the well research / well experience versus the non-research and non-experience, in which I spoke about how in a lot of these panels that we have within the so-called black sector of YouTube. Sir Anthony, what's going on? Oh, okay, we have a new subscriber in the house, Sir Anthony. All right, thank you for your subscription. Thank you. All right, how you doing, Sir Anthony? All right. Okay, so what I explained is that in this so-called black sector of YouTube, right? In these panels, you have a lot of people who come on the panel and speak about things that they know nothing about. You see that constantly. And you could tell when someone don't know what the fuck they're talking about. You know, when they come on these panels and speak or debate about a specific topic, and they're not given any real facts. They're just giving nothing but a bunch of conjecture, a bunch of opinions. You know, what a lot of people do in these panels is that they'll give their personal opinion, but the way they articulate their opinion, they articulate it to make it seem as if it's fact. See, because a lot of people within the viewing audience are gullible enough to believe anything someone in these streams are saying, as long as you sound very articulate to the point of the fact that you sound like you know what you're talking about. Why? Because a lot of people within the viewing audience don't have good comprehension skills. They don't have good critical thinking skills. They don't have good analytical skills to sit down and break down word for word and what that person is saying, nor do a lot of people within the viewing audience have the ability to sit back and look at the context of what someone is saying. Because when you have critical thinking skills and or comprehension skills and or analytical skills, you will know that some people don't know what the fuck they're talking about. But nonetheless, what you have in this space and in these panels is people debating with personal opinions and not actual facts. And this is what happened when I went on Mr. Research's panel earlier today. Shout out to Mr. Research. Shout outs to him. And because Mr. Research made a live stream about the assassination of the president of Haiti. And of course, I came in and came on the panel and gave my 2 cents. So me and Mr. Research, we started discussing ideas and certain solutions that would help potentially alleviate the poverty that exists in Haiti. Because of course, a lot of the crimes that you see in Haiti is correlated with the high amount of poverty. no different than a lot of other third world countries in the world. And then King Sigma, shout outs to him, he came on the panel and gave his 2 cents. And then we started breaking down that, we started talking about solutions. Then we started speaking about obstacles that must be overcome in order for our solutions for the country of Haiti to come to life and actually help solve the issues of that country. And King Sigma, even myself, I brought it out, but King Sigma was more detailed when he started speaking about how a lot of foreign corporations who run the island of Haiti, which is true. There's a lot of foreign corporations who are in Haiti and who basically, in a way, own a lot of the industries in Haiti, especially when it comes to a lot of U.S. corporations. And not only that, a lot of white-owned corporations. And King Sigma was 100% correct about that. That boy was on the money. So he was speaking about how the Haitian people, especially so-called Haitian Americans, could team up with other groups of so-called Black people and do an excellent PR campaign and expose the economic I'm trying to look for this word, and expose the economic issues that go on in Haiti, how big time foreign corporations just have almost a monopoly on a whole lot of industries in Haiti that has, in a way, prevented Haiti from being an economically independent country, which also plays a role in the high poverty that go on in Haiti. Sigma was 100% correct about that. And then you had another brother who came on. His name was Vegas Mike. He made some good points. So he came on. Vegas Mike made some good points as far as some of the solutions on a political level that so-called Black people in Haiti and even people within the Haitian American diaspora can do. And they could work side by side with so-called African Americans or ADOS Blacks to help solve some of the issues in Haiti. He brought up some good stuff too. But then you had this dude called City of Truth. Some of y'all probably familiar with him. This guy, City of Truth, just came on the panel and he was speaking about things that he didn't know nothing about. I mean, he's no different than a whole lot of people in the manosphere, especially the so-called Black manosphere, who have this culture warrior mindset, this fake right-wing culture warrior mindset, because he came on that panel with those types of talking points. Now, he said, one way to solve the issues of Haiti is to remove foreign aid that's given to Haiti and put the Haitian people in a position where they would have to build for themselves for their survival. Culture warrior bullshit, right? That sounds good. Sorry, I was drinking something. That sounds good to those who don't really know the history of Haiti like that. To those who don't know, like, the different factors that cause Haiti to be an impoverished nation, that sounds good to people like that. But when you have knowledge of the realistic issues that go on in Haiti, you'll realize that that's just nothing but theoretical, idealistic nonsense. It's sort of that pull up your bootstraps type of talking points. And although I'm not totally against people, quote unquote, pulling up their bootstraps and building for themselves, I'm not totally against that. But let's we have to be realistic that when it comes to a third world country like Haiti, that has been economically that has been economically degraded, a country where a lot of their resources are just being controlled by foreign corporations, we have to say, hey, so I asked him a question. I said, hold on. I said, listen. I said, okay, suppose we do that. So suppose America remove their funding or foreign aid, or other countries stop giving Haiti foreign aid, right? What do you do with the issue of foreign corporations still in Haiti, still controlling a lot of the resources in Haiti and have an economic foothold in the country? How could you leave these people to themselves to compete against billion-dollar foreign corporations that have a great foothold on the country? And then when I was in the process of saying that, City of Truth interrupted me in the middle, telling me that that's not true, that there's not that many corporations that run Haiti like that. That's not true. Blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, and the thing is, I had to remind this dude, because he said that to me multiple times when I was making certain points about the problem in Haiti. He kept on telling me how it's not true. And I had to remind this dude. I said, listen, I'm of Haitian descent. I'm Haitian. I used to live in Haiti. Okay. I come from a family of Haitians. I know about the situation in Haiti way better than you can. So I can speak on it. And I told him, I said, listen, you have a lot of corporations from the United States. You have a lot of corporations from Germany. Okay. And other places, the other parts of the world that own a lot of the resources in Haiti, that their corporations are going to Haiti and they're just basically grabbing a lot of the resources. And not only that, you got a lot of foreign businessmen that's in Haiti and that basically run a lot of business over there. Like, for example, a lot of Syrian immigrants who migrate to Haiti, and they basically have almost a monopoly when it comes to the different shops and grocery stores that exist in Haiti. Almost a monopoly. All right. So while he's telling me that's not true, I know that to be a fact. And then he turned around and responded with the straw man argument and said that, well, it's the governments of these countries that allow these foreign people to come into the country and take a lot of the resources. After he said that what I'm saying is not true, then he turned around and responded to me by saying, well, it's the fault of the Haitian government who allowed the people to come inside these countries, right? But the thing is, one, that's an obvious, that's obvious. No shit, Sherlock. Of course, the Haitian government is partially responsible for allowing foreign corporations and foreign people to come into the country, to enter the country and grab hold of a lot of resources. No shit, Sherlock. That's obvious. And not only that, that's a straw man argument, because that's not the point. That has nothing to do with the question I'm asking. I'm asking, how can you strip, if you strip foreign aid to the Haitian people, then how can these people be able to build when these foreign billion-dollar corporations are in Haiti and have control over the majority of the resources of that country, or a large portion of the resources in that country? And he didn't even answer the question. He just came with this straw man argument. He was arguing some shit that he didn't know what the fuck he was talking about. Then he was talking, then City of Truth came out with a point and said that you have to remove the NGOs, aka nonprofit organizations that exist in the country. Remove them because, according to what he believed, that the NGOs or these nonprofit organizations are creating economic turmoil to the country. I'm just paraphrasing what he was saying. So I asked him, I said, do you have any data to prove that? Do you have any data to say that nonprofit organizations are causing Haiti or causing the poverty in Haiti? Because a lot of nonprofit organizations, except for the Red Cross and others, came into the country to help assist the problems in the country. But if you're saying that these nonprofit organizations are causing economic turmoil or creating more economic turmoil for the country, where's your data that says that? Where's your data? Now, he didn't answer that question. He stated is some shit like, well, all you can do is go on Google and Google NGOs in Haiti. See, when you ask somebody for proof and they turn around and tell you to Google us something, basically what they're saying is that I don't have the evidence, so you look up the evidence yourself. But the thing is that in any given debate or conversation, anyone who makes an allegation or who makes an argument, the burden of proof is on that person to prove that their argument is correct. So when someone asking you to provide evidence, in which now you have the responsibility to provide evidence because you're making this claim, now you're going to say, well, go on Google and Google this and that and the third. No, nigga. You provide the evidence. Don't tell me to go on a search engine and search for the evidence myself. It's your responsibility to provide the evidence to back up your claims as true. Like, this motherfucker never provided any evidence to back up whatever the fuck he was trying to say. So that's what I'm saying. I'm like, if you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, shut the fuck up. Keep your motherfucking mouth shut. Go do some research first, and then you can come back and give your opinions and what have you. You see, if you watch my prior video, when it came to the assassination of President Jovenel Moise, I gave you guys actual facts as documented, discussing the events in Haiti that led up to such hostility towards the president that might have had a hand in his assassination. See, because prior to the president of Haiti being assassinated, there was a large amount of hostility and discontent towards the Haitian president. And that hostility and discontent, once again, might have had a role in the assassination of the president of Haiti. Not saying that it's right, because at the end of the day, it's still wrong. It's still wrong to assassinate an elected official. But what I'm saying is, when a group of people are hungry, they're starving, and at the same time, they're being intimidated and killed by people who are allegedly affiliated with you, and you're supposed to be the president of a country, you're going to end up having a lot of enemies. Okay, but King Maya believes, King Maya, you stated that, you made a comment on my prior video saying that his killers were Colombians, and I responded to you by asking you for some resource, by asking to provide some sources. you know, because maybe his killers were so-called non-black people. Maybe, maybe not. But if we're going to say that, at least provide some sources. Yo, Mike V. Shalom, Mike V. Shalom, sir, but Yahoo. What's up, American Negro? And the thing is that let's say you're correct, King Maya. Let's say the killers of the president of Haiti were non-black, were so-called non-black people, right? You never know if there were some Haitians themselves who teamed up with these so-called non-black people, because when you do your research on the political history of the island of Haiti, okay, King Maya, King Maya, it was confirmed that some of the president's killer was speaking Spanish and English. So I agree that some people who were involved in the assassination of the president of Haiti were people who were not from that land. Were people who are not from were from people who are not from Haiti. But what I'm trying to tell you is that in Haiti's past, foreign governments would work side by side with Haitian political opponents to topple down elected officials in Haiti. So whoever been involved in this, and King Ma, you still didn't provide any sources to back what you were saying, because you stated once again in my last video that Colombians has something to do with the assassination of the president of Haiti. And I responded to you by asking you to provide some sources. So provide some sources. If it has been confirmed, what sources prove that the people who assassinated the president were Colombians? That's all. That's all I'm asking. I'm not saying you're right. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying you're right. What I'm asking is for sources to back up what you're saying. But anyhow, going back to what I'm saying, yeah. But when it comes to this, when it comes to stuff like that, it's a whole collective of people, a whole consortium of people involved in these types of things. It's not just one person. It's not just one person, two person, three people. It might be a few men on the ground who broke inside the president's house and to shoot and kill him. But don't get it twisted. It's a lot of other people who was the brains behind this incident. So it's a whole like I said, I'm just going by the history of Haiti, how when it comes to the assassinations of past presidents, or even the departure or the hostile takeover of past presidents, it's a consortium of people who conspire to do this. And usually within that group of people who conspire to do these types of things, it's usually Haitians working side by side with foreign entities. And most likely, when it comes to this situation, most likely it's no different. I don't know who's involved, but I would not be surprised if it would be some sellout. Well, I won't call it, some Haitian people working side by side with foreign entities. This always happened when it comes to political leaders in Haiti being either assassinated or driven out of their country. Yeah, but going back to what I was saying in reference to the Mr. Researcher's panel that I participated in earlier today. So this guy, City of Truth, was on the panel. He didn't know what the fuck he was talking about. Then once again, he provided that removing NGOs or nonprofit organizations and removing foreign aid to Haiti is a solution that would help the Haitian people build for themselves. But then once again, I asked him because he stated that NGOs or nonprofit organizations was the cause or played one factor in the poverty that happened that you see happen in Haiti. And when I asked him to provide some data, he tried to talk his way out of providing data and telling me to just go on Google. Basically, he's telling me to look it up myself because in reality, he didn't have any evidence. He was just blowing hot air out his ass. But anyhow, and while he was stating that as a solution, Mr. Research asked him a very good question. I'm speaking about City of Truth here. Mr. Research asked City of Truth a very good question. And I'm only paraphrasing Mr. Research's question because I don't remember it verbatim. So what Mr. Research basically asked City of Truth is that, hey, he basically said, okay. He said, what do you think about the idea of the Haitian people or Haitian Americans going into Haiti and establishing settlements in the outskirts of Haiti and starting from there, and these settlements, that's when they could invest and purchase land for they could economically mobilize that area. So he said something in regards to that. He said, what do you think about that? So then City of Truth responded by saying, well, I don't know. I'm not Haitian. I'm ADOS. I don't know. I can't help these people. It's not my job to help these people. I'm ADOS. So I said, hold on, wait a minute. So I stepped in. I said, wait a minute, City of Truth. At first, you stated that one way to solve the issues of Haiti is to remove foreign aid and put the Haitian people in a position where they can build for themselves. Then, when Mr. Research asked a question in order to delve deeper on what you said, which basically revolves around this whole thing of pulling up your bootstraps and building for yourself, then you copping out. It's like you making a verbal crossover move. You cross from right to left and trying to remove your or trying to find any way to not answer the question or to not delve deeper into detail based on what you said, because really you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And that's my problem with a lot of these people on in these spaces. When you ask them very logical questions, it don't even have to be hard-hitting questions. It could just be logical questions. Very logical questions, right? Based upon the weak-ass arguments that they make, they always trying to look for cop-outs, which means that they don't know what the fuck they talking about in the first place. You speak on what you do not know. And I don't get why a lot of people in this sector of YouTube is that way. Why are you speaking on shit that you know nothing about? Simple questions, sir, but Yahoo. Simple ass questions. Simple questions, man. And he trying to get all these cop-outs, the verbal crossover, you direct your statements one way, one questions, then you're trying to move away from, you're trying to do a crossover. You're trying to evade the question, evade from right to left. You're trying to do an Allen Iverson, a verbal Allen Iverson, when people ask you questions based on your weak ass arguments, man, or your weak ass talking points. Another thing, I'm going to go back to the argument that City of Truth made in regards to him talking about removing NGOs and or nonprofits out of Haiti. right? Now, prior to that, he argued that foreign corporations are not that foreign corporations do not have a strong hand on Haiti's economics. He argued that. Then he turned around and argued that one way to solve the problems of Haiti is to remove nonprofit organizations, aka NGOs, from Haiti. And King Sigma, shout outs to him, man. King Sigma is sharp, man. King Sigma, that boy's smart. King Sigma responded to City of Truth and said, listen, the nonprofit organizations or NGOs that you're talking about, a lot of them are being financed by foreign corporations. And one NGO or nonprofit organization that City of Truth brought up that supposedly is causing economic destruction in Haiti, he pointed out, he was saying the Clinton Foundation, right? The Clinton Foundation that's run by Bill and Hillary Clinton. And King Sigma responded to him, pointing out, he said, listen, when you look at who's financing the Clinton Foundation, you'll see there's all sorts of people in Wall Street that's financing the Clinton Foundation. A whole lot of corporations that's financing them, which goes back to the point that foreign corporations, especially U.S. corporations, have an economic foothold in Haiti. That's one factor into why such poverty exists in Haiti, or low level of self-sufficiency exists in Haiti, which is a point that City of Truth argued. So he argued that it's not the fault of foreign corporations that have a hand in the poverty that exists in Haiti, but yet he talked about nonprofit organizations having a role in the poverty that exists in Haiti, when a lot of nonprofit organizations are funded by corporations. So he shot himself in the foot. Why? Because he didn't know what the fuck he was talking about. Like, yo, dudes, anybody that's listening to me, if people on these live streams are speaking about topics that you know nothing about, it's smart to not come in and try to argue points that you know nothing about. You know, and that's the thing with a lot of these culture warriors in the black sector of YouTube, or even in the so-called black manosphere. These culture warriors, these fake wannabe right-wing niggas, a lot of them, when they argue, and I'm saying fake right-wing niggas, because when you got true conservatives and true right-wing individuals like Mr. Research, Sub-Zero 3630, BMT, those are brothers that know what they're talking about. Those are right-wing brothers who know what they're talking about. But I'm talking about these phony right-wing niggas who just utilize these culture war talking points. They always come in these panels and say some shit that they know nothing about. They don't know shit. Yeah, Real Deal Financial. Yeah, you were conservative, but you were smart conservative. Real deal. Real Deal. You are an intelligent conservative. See, Real Deal Financial it is one of those conservatives that I have respect for. Same thing when it comes to brothers like Mr. Research, aka C.A. Latre. I have a lot of respect for him. I have a lot of respect for brothers like Sub-Zero 36339 or 3630. 363 something. I don't know. You guys know what I'm talking about. Sub-Zero 3639, something like that. And another conservative that I have respect for is brother BMT, aka Business Minded Talk. See, those are conservatives that know what they're talking about. Okay, man, tomorrow 3639. Okay, thank you. 3639. But you have a lot of these dumbasses that come here and don't know what the fuck they're talking about. but claim to be conservative. You know, once again, you have the well-researched and the well-experienced versus the non-researched and non-experienced. People who come on these panels, you know, when you got brothers having intelligent conversation who speak on things that they've researched, you got these dumbasses that come on the panel and say things that make absolutely no sense. But because they can speak very clear and they can articulate their words real well, it seems as if they know what they're talking about. Until you utilize critical thinking skills, until you utilize analytical skills to break down what that person's talking about and realize that it makes no sense. You have a lot of these individuals who come on the space like that. They don't know shit, but they know how to sound as if they're intelligent. See, because a lot of people within the viewing audience, right? A lot of people, I could tell a lot of people within the viewing audience, they correlate articulation with intelligence. So it's like if you sound very articulate, if you sound very clear, if you sound very eloquent, then a lot of people think that you're intelligent. And because of how you sound, 9 times out of 10, you probably know what you're talking about. When in reality, these motherfuckers don't know shit. They just know how to make themselves sound convincing. And that's one of these type of niggas like City of Truth, man. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about. That's what I'm saying. A lot of you people in the so-called black manosphere, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, man. You come on these panels, argue points, when you're not even well-researched in the topic that people are discussing. Just like on Sunday, when I was on Sheila E., the Quiet Storms panel, shout outs to her, where we was talking about what the so-called black female can do to help improve the so-called black community or the lack thereof. And I stated that black females, so-called black females, should be more involved in the education of their sons. So then we got into this whole discussion about black males and education. And you had about 2 people who was arguing the points that we was making about black males in the education system, but they didn't know what the fuck they was talking about. Like, you can tell just by when someone open their dick sucking lips that they don't know what the fuck they're talking about, man. And I'm tired of that shit. And another thing I'm tired of is when niggas come on the panel interrupting other people while they're speaking. Like, can y'all goddamn chill the fuck out? Listen, I get it that sometimes that people can interrupt unintentionally, right? You know, that, yeah, I understand that. I'm busy reading Sir Anthony's comment. He said, I'm here because of you. Man, tomorrow I was told that this is a channel that I could find good information on the history of the space. Yeah, because I'm one of the people who helped create the space. But, you know, ungrateful niggas in today's manosphere, they're ungrateful, you know, like a bunch of bitches. They're ungrateful as hell. But going to what I'm saying, going to what I was talking about, right? Oh, what the fuck was I saying? Damn, I lost my train of thought. What the hell was I saying? Oh, yeah. I was speaking about, okay, yeah. A lot of times in these panels, we have people who always want to interrupt other people while people are speaking, while they're speaking. And a lot of times, it's due to the fact that, yeah, I'm done with the Sheila E. topic. But I'm speaking about what's up, Antisocial Socialite Podcast. What's up? What's up, Wadner? I think I said what's up to you before, Wadner. Yeah, but Man of Tomorrow, what's up? Once again. Yeah, Man of Tomorrow. And people was okay. That's what I was talking about. Yeah. You have a lot of people. Yeah, I'm done with the Sheila E. Conversation. I'm just speaking in general about people on panels interrupting other people while they're speaking. Right? See, this is what I realize. That a lot of you motherfuckers that come on these panels, you want to come on here and look good because it's all about promoting your channel, right? A lot of people come on here and want to promote their channel and their brand, which is okay, right? But a lot of people so want to look good on these panels because, you know, once again, there's an audience viewing you, right? So a lot of these people want to come on the panel and look so good to the point of the fact that they don't want to be wrong on anything. So if a person on a panel makes one statement that doesn't agree with what they say, these motherfuckers have to interrupt right away in order to make themselves look good because they don't want to look wrong on front of the viewing audience. Because it's all about looking good on front of a fucking viewing audience. I'm tired of that shit. You know, I had to curse somebody out on Big J's XX channel. Some pussy ass nigga. You know what I'm saying? This is why on my panel, y'all can't do that shit. See, a few of you people don't want to come on my panel because you know on my panel, you can't do that shit. You can't have things your way on my motherfucking panel. All right? What did Wadner say? Wadner says it's crazy how some people time you out in chats when you speak logic to them. They have a temper tantrum. I think you meant tantrum, like a 5-year-old. Yeah. That's true, Wadner. That's true. But going back to the interruption, right? To the interrupting. Yeah, antisocial, the interrupting. Yeah. Because nobody want to look like the one who's wrong. They want to look good and look like the one who's right. Therefore, if a person make one talking point that disagrees with another individual's talking point, now that person who makes that one talking point 9 times out of 10 is not even done completing their overall argument. Because, you know, a lot of times when people come on these panels and have something to say, they make multiple talking points at a time. So common sense is to let them finish with their points, and then afterwards, the next person could respond. But if a person make one point that counters the other person's point, the other person want to interrupt right away. Why? Because he wants to look good and maintain his quote unquote good image on here. And if someone counters his arguments, he's afraid that he might look bad on front of the viewing audience. So it's necessary for him to look good. So what he does, he interrupts and responds to that one talking point when that person haven't completed his argument in full yet. That's not order. What's up, Soul and Black? What's going on? People have no fucking order. That's not order, man. You got to have some sort of order about yourself. And it's these males that be doing that shit. Females too. Females do that. But these males do that shit a lot. Act like a bunch of bitches, man. You know what I'm saying? You a grown-ass man. As a man, you have to conduct yourself. You have to conduct yourself in a certain way. And one way you have to conduct yourself in is in order. That's how I was raised. You got to have some sort of order about yourself. If you're sitting there interrupting somebody while they're speaking because you don't have enough patience to wait until someone is done speaking, You know, it shows that you acting upon emotions because emotional people are impatient. I mean, you see that a lot when females are talking amongst each other, right? When you see females talking amongst each other, or blah, 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 talking to each other at the same time while someone else is talking, interrupting all the time while someone else is talking, and now you're seeing that in this space amongst these males. That's what I'm saying. For the longest, that a lot of people in the so-called black manosphere act like the big booty quiches that they complain about. Yeah. Females interrupt a lot. Exactly, Sir Anthony. Exactly. Yo, Sir Anthony, you making a lot of sense. I'm gonna make you a moderator, man. I'm gonna make you a moderator. All right. Yeah. Exactly. I can't stomach that either when it comes from males. You know, it's annoying when females do it, but it's 10 times annoying when males do it because it shows a lack of patience in males. And males, we supposed to be the ones to lead society. And part of being a great leader or being a leader at all is to have patience and to have, like I said, some order about yourself, have some peace about yourself. You know? But like I said, anybody who wants to come on the panel and give their 2 cents, you're gonna have to give me your email address and I'll email you the link to the panel. And when I mean anyone, I'm specifically saying anyone that I'm familiar with. If you want to come on the panel and speak, you could type your email address in the chat. And you can, and I'll email you the link to the panel. And after I get your email address, delete your email address afterwards. Hey, yo, whoever this guy is, Charles Stewart, listen. You know what? Do not put him on timeout. Do not. Nah, Charles Stewart. I don't know you, bro. I don't know you, bro. I'm not. Nah, you're not coming on the panel. I don't know you, bro. I don't know you, bro. So I won't, Charles. I won't time you out just yet because you started with "you are sounding good" and that come across as I don't know. If you being sincere, thank you for the sincerity, or thank you for the compliment if you're being sincere. But the thing is Charles Stewart, I don't know you, bro. So I can't have you come on in. I can't have you come in the panel. IMOT, delete your email address. Delete your email address, MOT. I got your email. I'm gonna send you the link. Yeah. Well, Charles, like I said, I'm not familiar with you. This time, Charles, I'm only letting people who I'm familiar with to come on the panel. You know, maybe next time, Charles, but this time, only people that I'm familiar with. That they're the only ones who are invited to come on my panel. So let me. All right. Let me see. Okay, let me. What the hell? All right, I'm just okay. I'm having some technical difficulties right now. All right. All right, MOT, I sent you the link. I sent you the link. MOT. I sent you the link. Soul and Black, it's this is an open discussion. It's an open chat or open panel, I mean, open panel. Charles, if I didn't treat white men as equals or so-called white males as equals, uh I would have already timed you out. All right. The only reason why I'm not bringing you on the panel is because, like I said before, the only people that's coming on my panel are people that I'm familiar with, and I'm not familiar with you. It has nothing to do with your skin color. It has nothing to do with your race, with your skin color, nothing like that. What's going on, MOT?
Yeah, what's going on, man? He has to understand, man, that a lot of people jump on panels and do crazy stuff. You have to sit back and watch for a bit before you come up. Like I haven't seen them in other spaces either. So you just can't let people up just to be letting them up. They have to kind of be around for a while and be respectful of kind of the conversation and space point. I mean, you can't just expect to get right on the panel, right away. You have to, feel people out because you know how people are around here, man. So
Exactly.
it's nothing personal, man. It's just that if you seen some of the stuff that would be going on around here, man, yeah, you would immediately get it for real. But what's going on, man?
Oh, I'm doing fine. What's going on with you?
Man, like how's the presidential security for Haiti if that can happen like that?
I'll just say this: Haiti is so corrupt that anybody can be bought.
Yeah,
Anybody
but
can
not
be bought.
everybody could just
You know,
walk up to the presidential place with no type of surveillance or system of security or nothing and get, well, I wouldn't say get away with it. They probably already know what happened. But it's just that, man, that's wild, man. Man, that's
Uh,
too wild, man.
yeah, that's what I mean. Something like that happened in the past where in Haiti, I think in the early 1900s, one of like the 24th or the 26th president of Haiti,
Yeah.
they grabbed him out of the French embassy at that time. No, yeah, I think the French embassy because he was hiding in the French embassy, and a mob of people broke inside the French embassy, grabbed him, and just chopped them up in pieces. So yeah, so I'll just say this: when it comes to security in Haiti, it's not that good. Okay.
Wow, that is, I can't believe it. This is almost like somebody walking up and whacking like a U.S. senator or a congressperson. Broad daylight, no problem. Well, it kind of happened with Gabby Giffords, with that shooting. But man, that because here's the thing: once people, and it happened in the U.S. for a while too. Once people see how easy it is to get your point across through something like that, then there becomes a rash of them everywhere.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
It becomes the way of doing business, and whew, wow,
Now,
yeah,
now, I was speaking with a few folks, with a few other Haitian folks earlier today about the situation, and what they was telling me is just word of mouth. This is not. I can't say that this is fact. That what they tell me is an actual fact, but this is just allegations and word of mouth, right? Where allegedly it's people affiliated with the United States government who personally confronted the president and told him that, hey, listen, you have to leave the country. You're leaving your you're leaving your power right now. And he refused. and he just ended up getting killed as a result of his refusal. But like I said, I don't know how true this is. This is just word of mouth. But if it is true, it would not shock me. Because one of the former presidents of Haiti, whose name is Jean-Bertrand Aristide, the first democratically elected president in Haiti, in which he got elected in 1990. Right, 1990 was the first time a president of Haiti was democratically elected. Right. And
well, I got a question.
Go ahead.
Okay, before it was democratically elected, how was the elections done in Haiti? I'm sorry, I don't know. So if he was democratically elected, what, he was installed by other countries?
Coup d'etat, brother. Coup d'etat.
Oof. Okay.
Throughout prior to Jean-Bertrand Aristide being elected in 1990, being democratically elected in 1990, the past rulers of Haiti ruled through a hostile takeover, aka coup d'etat.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
It's pretty straightforward.
So that's basically
okay.
Yeah.
So democratically elected make a whole lot of sense versus all that other stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's how messed up the country is, that their first democratically elected official happened in 1990. And that's a country that existed as a republic since 1804. So it took what, like 100-something years?
Man, coup after coup.
Yeah, coup after coup after coup. But this president, Aristide, he got reelected in the early 2000s, in 2001. But in 2004, there was a military coup against him. And according to Aristide himself, he said that members of the U.S. military came in and just grabbed him and his family like a kidnapping and flew him in a car, sent him to a plane, and flew him out to Africa and said, "You're done." So
this is nuts.
Yeah. So things like this has happened before in Haiti. But yeah, things like this have happened before. Presidents in the past have gotten assassinated. Okay. There was in Haiti, there was a person who considered himself king of Haiti. He committed suicide because he knew that somebody was going to assassinate him. So he said, "Fuck it, I'll just kill myself." Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah. And then since he killed himself, the people just killed his son.
What?
Yeah.
I'm like, man, we're gonna get some of this DNA up out of here.
Yeah.
Wow.
That country got a crazy history. Crazy history.
You know, it used to be the flavor up in the United States for a while, man. Them 60s, man. A lot of people was getting up out of here.
Yeah.
Rather forcefully. Like, nobody wanted to argue. It was time for people to go.
Oh yeah. Especially JFK and his brother.
Oh yeah. No doubt.
Yeah. And a lot of the civil rights activists, as a result of COINTELPRO, Medgar Evers, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Bobby Hutton. Yeah, Mike V. They flew him out to the Congo. Yeah. They flew Aristide out to the Congo.
And he didn't come back. All right. What? Man, that's nuts, man. Wow. Some of these places, man, people think that, this democratically elected system is, something to behold, man. At least you ain't got to worry about getting up out of there, even though, you got the threats and all that kind of stuff that you hear all the time. But, yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's sad because Haiti have such important history when it comes to the first group of so-called Black people to have an independent republic.
Yeah.
And
all the way by themselves. Yeah.
Yeah, way by themselves, to be able to beat a strong empire like the French Empire at that time. There was a very strong empire at that time. And to be able to beat them in a war and to have the first black republic, the first independent black republic in the Western Hemisphere, or some people might argue the entire world at that time. The and for them to have such brutal history like that, yeah. And I tell a lot of people that, you know, people laugh when I say this, but I tell people the Haitian Revolution was the only time that Haitian people ever worked together for a common cause. Outside of that, they've been killing each other. And this has been happening for 200 or so years. You know?
Wow.
Yeah. A lot of people who come into power, they become power hungry. Then they either get assassinated or they get ousted out of Haiti through a coup d'etat. Yeah.
I just don't understand how you can like go after all that power and then you do some hellified, messed up stuff once you do get it on like some Caligula type stuff, man. I don't get that. Like I'm not trying to draw death in when I have that type of power and responsibility. I don't think I would.
Yeah,
exactly. Be down with that. Oh man, that's bad.
Exactly. And like I said in my prior video, amongst Haitian people, it's been stated that the most dangerous job to have is a job of a politician.
Yeah, in another country that's not the United States. Yeah, and clearly not Europe. Yeah.
I'm speaking. Yeah, in Haiti, the most dangerous job to have in Haiti is a politician.
Yeah, man, you got control of them resources, and a lot of people are just not going to let your quote unquote governmentally opinion getting away in front of the profits, man.
Exactly. It all comes down to the money. Yeah, it all comes down to the money. And it's sad that even though I was never a fan of this specific president, because while he was alive, he did some suspect things, but at the same time, I'm also not a fan of elected officials being assassinated.
That's a bad look, man.
Very bad look. Yeah. Very bad look. Oh, okay. I'm speaking about President Aristide, who was the first democratically elected president of Haiti. Yeah, and when he got reelected in the early 2000s, a group of people held a military coup against him, and the United States government kidnapped him and his family, threw him in a car, and sent him to the airport and put him in a plane to send to the Congo. Yeah.
They'd be like, you know what? Your ride has arrived, sir. You didn't order
it. Right. Basically. Yeah.
Come with me if you want to live.
Yeah. That's what happened. So
I'm good, man. Dude, I'll just stay a business dude. There ain't no way I'm gonna be watching my back every afternoon that I'm on the man. No way.
Right.
I'm not even with that.
Yeah, right. Because once it's like a lot of presidents in Haiti, at one point when they get a taste of that power, it becomes addicting to them. But at the same time, they end up becoming paranoid because they get all sorts of threats.
Wouldn't you though? If you start knowing like some of what's really going on, man, I'd be paranoid too. I would have to be.
Hell yeah. And as a result of the high paranoia of a lot of elected officials in Haiti, they end up committing massacres.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, trying in their mind, trying to hold on to power, and at the same time, in their mind, trying to stay alive. Yeah,
man,
because
that's no life to be living, man.
Yeah, that's no life to be living. Yeah, because
I don't want nothing like that, man.
Because I had a family member, right? Back in the 60s, he was a mayor of a certain town in Haiti, right? And at that time, a president by the name of Francois Duvalier, a lot of Haitians know about him, aka Papa Doc. That's his nickname, Papa Doc, who ruled Haiti for like 30-something years. He ruled with the iron fist. Basically, he was like an extreme authoritarian figure. Like
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like
Dictatorial. Oh, okay.
yeah, like okay, like MOT. You can say he was the so-called black version of Joseph Stalin.
Damn.
Okay, yeah,
Damn.
yeah, yeah.
Whew.
So this family member of mine, he was a mayor in a certain town of Haiti during the time when this guy was president. So what this family member told me, he told me straight up that every once in a while the president would have a meeting with all the elected officials of Haiti and all the intellectuals of Haiti and all the upperclassmen, right? And just have like this meeting. And this one meeting that he had all the influential people and all the political leaders in Haiti and what have you. There was a military, somebody within the Haitian military that Duvalier thought was out to kill him. And what this family member told me is that Duvalier killed him on the spot in front of everybody, just slit his throat on the spot in front of everybody because
yeah, that sends a message.
yeah, yeah. And what I was told was that this family member of mine was forced out of power because people threatened to kill him. So he turned around, he said, "Fuck it." Him and my aunt and my one cousin at that time, they just got up and left and came to the U.S. Yeah.
Shit, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
middle of the night, man. Like, it's time to go. Man, that's nuts, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Mike V says to send a message to everyone else who thinks about running for office. Keep in mind, oh man, Haiti used to be close to Venezuela and Cuba politically. Yep. Chavez was an advocate for Haitian liberation. Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. They're very close friends. Haiti, Venezuela, and Cuba. As a matter of fact, in the past, Haiti was a helping hand to Venezuela getting their independence from Spain. This was during, I think, around the 1800s after Haiti received, after Haiti liberated themselves from French rule, they end up liberating other people within Latin America from colonial rule too. And one of the people was Venezuela. So ever since then, Venezuela was close allies with Haiti, and Cuba became close allies with Haiti. Yeah. But
wow, that's nuts, man.
It is. It's nuts. It's nuts. But let's talk about something else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bring the mood down.
Yeah.
So where do you think this thing's going? This whole space right now, from now? I mean, we kind of entered the phase of denying basics of history and just general propaganda and misinformation, so that way we can start putting out fires in our own house rather than working toward any type of tangible progress. That's where we're at kind of right now. So,
oh well, to me, I think it already went to hell, and it's staying there.
Wow.
Yeah, because there's too many people in the space who will just focus on entertainment instead of, like what you said, solving problems and getting things done. So
choosing a side, solving problems and getting things done is a very simple process. Then you can go home. You're done.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And also what I see in this space is a split that's already happening, where you have people like you and I who are focused on more serious issues in order to get things done to help elevate the conditions of so-called black males in this society. And you have another sector who are just focused on entertainment, focused on talking about what the females are doing, what the females are saying, who they find attractive, who they're having sex with, who's dating who, celebrity junk files, all this other bullshit.
Yeah, man. I've been deliberately talking about issues that would make people not want to watch my show because I don't want this audience no more. If you ain't going nowhere, I'm going somewhere. I got to do something different with all this content. There's a lot of people who I turn on to this content and it changed a lot of lives for people. But not these specific people. And it's okay that the actual mission can change depending on who get access to it. I get how that works. But at the end of the day, you just roll out, man. You ain't really got to really sit here and argue with people or any of that other stuff. You could just, if you got a good product, just move on to other people, man. Because there are a lot of people, and to be honest with you, none of them are 30. There's a lot of people between the age of like 10, 12 to like 22, 23. That's where it's at right now. Because those people already live through the baby mama drama, the red pill bullshit. The only thing they need right now is really job training, a tangible career, and new people to actually deal with. Because like the woe is me kind of blackmail grift and shit has really ran its course. And it
Yes.
only works now on older individuals that are X and millennials. It really doesn't work on anybody else outside of that group, to be quite honest. So
Yes.
that's why it's such a precipitous drop off whenever you deal with other people who just tune out or just don't give a shit about this because they think this stuff is really too ridiculous to
Hmm.
even want to be a part of or even keep repeating over and over again. These people are, hey man, so how do we get to the money? How do I do this? How do I do that? That's what people are on right now. They're not really on this type of nonsense of where people are at right now. So that's why I just kind of fell back, looked at all these 900 and something videos that I have and all these hour-long live streams. And I'm like, I did all this shit and these motherfuckers still at square one. All right, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, man. It's
Yeah.
like, and now, you got, the woe is me PhD crowd up in here.
Oh boy.
No side taking, nothing, talk about a whole bunch of bullshit. And they're like, oh, no, it's entertainment. Like, I want to hear the motherfucker tell me that it's entertainment, man. Like,
Yeah.
hey, nah, this is a specific plan, my man.
Yeah.
That's what
it
is.
was. It was never meant to be just a form of entertainment. I mean, you
These
can have a
problems are not
level of
entertaining,
being
man.
you have a level of being entertained, but there's a deeper or a more important agenda at hand. So when people talking about they just want to be entertained, well, listen, or this is just, excuse me, when people are talking about that this is just entertainment,
Yeah.
that's just Morse code of them saying, I just don't want to do shit.
Meanwhile, you got PhDs trying to figure out what's influencing BW behavior. Stupid
Right.
shit like that. It's like, motherfucker, did you tell me that you went through all this fucking schooling to get out of school to talk about this type of shit online, bro? You fucking kidding me?
Right.
This shit don't make no sense, man.
Right. Right. I mean, I don't know, maybe the pandemic has done something to them economically, to the fact that they need this YouTube money. So easy way to make that YouTube money is just complain about females. You got these
You
fools
really
out
think
donate.
it's
Yeah.
you really think it's
Maybe
just
it's that.
that?
No, I'm just saying maybe. Of course, it has to be more factors in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think? What are some of the other factors?
No, I just think that a lot of people miss their time to be popular in life, and talking about bullshit is how they get to be popular now. And being I don't know, have eyeballs on you, even if you're saying bullshit, even if it don't matter or make any sense. Because I'm telling you, this woman is a endless source of shit that's never gonna work right. I mean, you had channels dedicated to this shit, and they're not trying to change anything. They're not even
Right.
at the table. It's the men who's just role playing as if they were the woman at the
Right.
table.
Right. Right.
I mean, so if you give her everything that you want, what's the point of a negotiation?
Right. Right. Right.
Yeah,
And
but this is just where we are, and it's like there's no shame in being a bitch ass nigga. It's no shame to that. And then they turn around and try to act like, well, I don't understand why we can't come together, work together. I'm like, man, look, y'all need to stop tripping with this. Nah, man, it's like, bro, we can't keep this up.
it's like a lot of people in the space, they offer placebos, not a cure, but they present their placebos as a cure. While people like you, Man of Tomorrow, people like Mike V, people like Solon Black, myself, and others, we provide the actual cure.
Yeah.
And that's and
I've
that's
always
what
said
you
it
have.
from day one.
Yeah, and that's what you have with either these PhDs or these other bitch ass niggas who are walking around just having this "woo is me" moment, complaining about females, and then they're acting as if they have this ultimate cure in order to help black males, and it revolve, and a lot of their cures always revolve around the female.
Helping them right back into the lion's
Yeah.
mouth that they wasn't supposed to be hiding out in the first place.
Exactly. Saying that females must choose better mates, and it's like, okay, even though it's true, but realistically, you're talking about a group of females.
Women.
You can't tell them that because they have been socially engineered to be anything but a quality wife, especially to good men. So how are you going to recommend good men to be with them where all they're going to do, due to their social engineering, is traumatize and cause havoc in the lives of these good men? How you going to do that? They're offering a placebo, not the cure.
Yeah, it's just that now at this particular point in time that a lot of people has to know that there's a singular problem that you can stay away from that solves all of these problems altogether. You don't have to do this. They have to because their paychecks kind of tied to this stuff, but you don't have to do it. And that's kind of where we're at. That now it's like we had like a couple different things going on here. So you had the women who were actually hyenas calling other hyenas hyenas. Then you had the real maggles calling other maggles maggles. Now you have people who are highly invested into the plantation trying to make it look like other people are Democrats and plantation people. Like every time you be quiet, they just walk in with the propaganda and they try to undo the point or just leverage their bullshit up to another level that it ain't supposed to be. It's nuts.
It's very nuts. It's very nuts. It's like you were pointing out, you have a lot of people who's the pot calling the kettle black. Hyenas calling other people hyenas, maggles calling other people maggles. It's ridiculous, and it just surprised me how a lot of people within the viewing audience either don't care or don't recognize these things.
We're having conversations about American history in 2021. Like it's something new and different. When it's the same people who never wanted to want history taught are the same people who don't think the actual Confederacy was a terrorist organization is magically the people who disagree with critical race theory, even though it's not taught in school. And you got black men doing the shit.
Right. Hell, and
like,
go ahead.
It's like you still have a department called the EEOC. What do you think that's based off of?
Right. Exactly.
It was literally called an era called Jim Crow. What do you think that was based off of? Okay, that wasn't race related. What about redlining?
Thank you.
Okay. And then you actually had to have a civil rights movement where you had to participate in the process. And guess what? All those people met resistant, very violent resistant, and the tapes are still there. But we keep acting like race is not a preeminent point of how come policies are done. Property taxes when it comes to schools. You don't get equal access to education depending on where you live at. Like I have equal access to call the police and get the actual quote unquote level of service and care. It's like the very fabric of the country you have to keep re-explaining to people who think they are more patriotic than other people.
Right. Right.
They're waving a flag that they don't even give a shit about, nor have ever given a shit about, by the way.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
So we
And
should take back patriotism and actually what it means, because it's a very simple concept.
yeah. Yeah. And it's like, and this the thing is that when you give them actual facts, in which it's easy to look up the sources of these facts, they refuse to look up the facts that backs up what you say and just come with this right wing conspiracy theory conjecture.
Yeah, but you have to understand how easy that is, though. So I explain the process because there are people in this space who does this. Normally, two individuals. They act just the same, but here's what they do, and other people protect these type of people within the conversation too. All right, so they come to the conversation with nothing. They don't understand what's happening nor going on. Then they want to talk about an issue that they haven't researched. Now, they know that the conversation that they're in, they're varying levels of understanding of the topic or subject. You see, they don't have any, period. They don't intend to bring any level to the conversation, period. So people, while having a conversation, has to correct everything that comes out of this individual's mouth because it's wrong, right? So
Mm-hmm.
now the whole conversation is based on cleaning up after this individual who's not even invested enough in the topic to have a conversation about the topic.
Exactly.
And the individual keep allowing this person up on the panel over and over and over again. That's how propaganda works. This is why a certain person is have to go on every day talk about what the Democrats are doing and how the Democrats are losing. But there's no such thing as a street conservative. And you have not said what you're actually doing on the side that you're actually on. Everything becomes morning regurgitated talking points from Fox News and right wing radio that he presents to black people. And it's like, okay,
Yeah. Exactly.
it
Yeah.
just doesn't make any sense. It's like street guys can't be conservative. You're liberal by nature. A lack
Right.
of order in the environment creates a warlord. That's what they are, information warlords.
Right. Right.
It's nuts. It's nuts.
It is. It's nuts. It's nuts. Yeah. It's crazy. It's street conservative. You want to be on the streets and be conservative at the same time. That makes absolutely no sense. Yeah.
I mean, they have a natural counterpart, which is, the liberated feminist woman. That's who would allow a person like that to operate. That's how that works. It doesn't. And it's like,
Yeah.
okay, let's say that, and then you got to respect everybody's hustles, which means you have to respect every type of undisciplined behavior under the sun.
Hold on for a minute, MOT. Hold on for a minute. I apologize. Waz Nubian, you here?
Yes,
Yeah. Yeah, Waz Nubian. Delete your email from the chat.
no problem.
All right. Thank you. Okay. And you'll be up shortly to speak. All right. Man, Small, continue. My bad about
Yeah,
that.
yeah, and it's like we want to live up to a certain standard when it comes to benefit, universal benefit, but we don't want to live up to a certain standard when it comes to level of investment. It doesn't make sense.
Right.
It's like, look, um, every time I hear people, oh, well, look at what this group's doing. Look at what that group's doing. It's like, it's too easy to ask you what the hell have you been doing? Have you
Right.
taken a side? And here's the thing. Oh, you just want me to be on it? No. I want you to understand what the issues are on the side that you're actually on. So that way, if we're going to organize to actually fix anything, you got to have a side taken. I never gave a damn if somebody was on the left or the right, but you better be on there the right way. You can't be on there as a culture warrior. You can't be on there as a deliberate misinformation person. That gets nobody nowhere.
Exactly. 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 And The thing is that, you know, what I find so funny with these types of people is that, like you said, this liberated female allows them to be this way, but at the same time, they claim to take this right-wing approach, not because they sincerely believe it, it's because they just want to be opposed to how black females vote. Because most black people vote, you know, on the left. Most black females, right? They vote on the left or vote on the Democratic side, right? So
Well,
they
I mean,
just
you know,
want
if you
to,
look at the history of the country, it makes sense.
yeah, it makes sense. So out of rebelliousness, you got these people that purposely want to vote on the opposite end without understanding the history of the end that they're voting on. And they come up here, act like they know what the fuck they're talking about. Basically, I'm saying the same thing you're saying, man. Tomorrow, I'm sorry to sound redundant, but it's just ridiculous.
And it's like there's a difference between like Colin Powell and like a Paris Denard, a Colin Powell and a Candace Owens, a Colin Powell. I forget his first name, but the West guy from Florida with the flat top. He used to be a general, 1-star.
Are you talking about Alan West? Alan West?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a difference between Colin Powell and Alan Keyes. There's a difference between that, you know, dude, there's nothing wrong with being a conservative. There's nothing wrong with being a Republican. Nothing at all. But when you go over there and you weaponize who you are against the other groups of people, pandering to people's ignorance and biases, that's when you become a problem.
Exactly. Brandon Tatum, anybody? All right. Yeah. So the real wise Nubian is on the panel, and he's been waiting patiently. So I'm going to let him speak. All right. So wise Nubian, what do you have to say concerning this matter? And before that, I'll just like to say hello. How you doing, brother? Sorry about that. Forgot to unmute yourself, wise Nubian.
Greetings.
How you doing? All right.
Well, I'm listening to everything. I had to multitask because you asked me to get my information off because I'm working from my computer to my phone back and forth. That's a lot. You know, you said that the panel is open. I'm definitely hearing what you're saying. I wanted to bring up some things about the Haiti president, and I wanted to talk about a channel where a female is trying to play the victim role again because, you know, men are retaliating by hitting, shooting, and then and even going as far as killing some of these females who have declared war on men of color. So there's a lot I want to say, but on the topic you talked about, I'm just listening right now.
Oh, who said anything about killing the females? Who said that?
What?
Well, there's a situation I was looking at. I'm not gonna say the name of the channel because I don't support her, but she have a large panel of women who they talk about how they're being victimized because if they don't give a man a play or downsize him or insult him or something, now men, especially the millennium and what they call Generation Y and Z, are responding by either attacking them or shooting them or physically harming them because they don't have the capacity to be able to reject them or just walk it off and not care about what that female say. And it was an incident where it was a bunch of drag queens, or I don't know what the politically correct thing to call them, men dressing like women, who was sitting and he tried. I guess the guy tried to talk to him, and when he recognized it was men, he went to his car and got a gun and started threatening with it. And it was a big. I guess the video was supposed to have went viral, and it's been a lot of incidents back east where women are shaming or disrespecting men because they don't like them, and they're expecting not to get a retaliation because of what's been going on. You know, I'm not justifying anything. I'm just saying, you know, you reap what you sow. You keep pushing. You know, ain't even a man don't go up on a man talking smack and not expecting some kind of retaliation, either getting shot at, attacked, or you know something. You know, men don't even do that. But for some reason, these females got the audacity. Huh?
Okay, wise Nubian. we got to stop worrying about these females, man. We know.
I'm not
what the hell
worried about
they're
them. I was
You
just
know,
telling you.
yeah,
Go ahead.
but my thing is, let's talk about. I know it's an open panel. Yes, it's an open panel, but let's talk about something else aside from these females. We know what they're about. They ain't, a lot of females have been in this society have been socially conditioned to just be anything outside of a wholesome woman. We know that. It's like there's no other ways we can put it.
Right. Well, you did ask, so I was responding, telling you what it was about. Not you, but the other gentleman did ask what was it about. So I had to explain it. So
Oh
that's
no,
what I was doing.
no, I was asking you who was talking about killing females. I was the one who asked that. The other gentleman, he didn't ask.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
that's what I was talking about. But no, it don't concern me that deep. I just brought it up as an open panel, saying a plethora of things I was thinking about and seeing as an open panel, and I brought that up because they always trying to blame us for stuff that they created. That's my point. That's it. I don't really have any interest in anything else about their situation. It's not relevant to me.
Oh, okay, but anyhow, like as far as I want to speak about, as far as the type of nonsense that continues to go into space, in which you have okay, Mike V. Okay, hold on, Mike V. You sent me. I think you sent me. You probably sent me an email on my other email address. Let me see. Let me go to my other email address. Let me see. All right. Don't mind me. Y'all can speak. But
oh, okay.
As far as the nonsense in this space, well, man, tomorrow you got this. You would.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. It's just that what you got to understand, man. Like I'm not even worried at all. I mean, because at this point, the only reason why they got so much power is because they say ridiculous things deliberately to gaslight man. And the only man at this point who's pretty much, not that you're doing this, but who's even worried about responding to them in any shape, form, or fashion are the men who clearly can't do better than the actual person who are making those comments. Because at the end of the day, if this person is clearly not your endpoint, I don't see how can you be worried about that. If a person deliberately have destroyed the idea of infinite choice within society, they lost. They lost. And they have to make up a reason and or excuse about why they're still on the marketplace. They don't require my presence at all. They don't require my input at all. Because certain people who's been upgraded in such a form of fashion, once you damage infinite choice to that type of capacity, you're gonna have to need a lot of people to blame. So I just stay keep my distance way away. That's how I dealt with it. And you gotta have your personality reset without what these people think mattering. And a lot of black men can't do that because they can't do better than that, than what is criticizing them. And they're very hurt by what's criticizing them. I get it, but at the end of the day, you got to be able to move away from that. A lot of
I'm
people
just,
don't.
I'm just tired of people in this space just making videos in response to what certain
Oh no.
females are saying that she said this, she said that, she said this, she said that. Okay, and so what? So what? It's like
Channels
it's like,
monetized, all
yeah.
this kind of stuff won't work together to try to take it down. The
Mhm.
supposedly good women over here are not even addressing her. What are you
They're not
supposed to do as a
addressing it.
dude? What are you
Exactly.
supposed to do as a dude?
Exactly. But my thing is that I told people in this space years ago to not respond to specific types of people because what you're doing is giving them free publicity. but nobody listens to me. They just pull me to the side. I'm just that crazy dude on the side that nobody listens to. And look what happened to these specific individuals. Now they're just their popularity has increased to a level that is enormous, and it's, in my opinion, a lot of that is due to the people in this space giving these individuals all this publicity. There's a lot of people, a lot of these daggles that MOT like to use, a lot of these reptiles who make content who I would not even know exist if it wasn't for the people in the manosphere who keep making video after video after video after video, crying, complaining about them. We cannot give a fuck about what these people say, because if we come together as so-called black males and organize together and mobilize together as a collective to help improve the conditions of black males, we'll just put all those stereotypical bullshit to rest, and it'll be automatically be debunked just by our actions doing that. But Mike V, you're on the panel. I don't know, MOT checked out, I guess. But how you doing, Mike V? How you doing? Welcome to the panel.
Yo, stop! I say, man, I'm just chilling, bro. Yeah, I missed a whole lot from the beginning, but I just want to really check in on about Hurricane Elsa. If your people's down there got pounded or not.
Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah.
I don't know if you've been keeping up to date on the status of the country.
As far as the hurricane, like I said, I've heard about it, but I haven't been up to date as far as the hurricane. But as far as what's going on when it comes to the assassination of the president, last time I've just heard that his wife was also shot and she's currently hospitalized. Some people have alleged that she died in the hospital. I don't know if that's an actual fact, but outside of that, I haven't been up to date as far as what's going on.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense, but yeah, I mean, it's coming up to New York by I think this weekend, so Elsa should be hitting up there pretty soon. But yeah, man, it's crazy. Okay. Yeah, it's crazy. A lot of people don't know the backstory. Haiti, I'm pretty sure you do, but a lot of people don't know the backstory about all the inner workings and the affiliations and things like that. What the Clinton administration did, the Bush administration did, Jeb Bush, Hillary, his brother Tony Rodham, down there, mining for gold and diamonds and stuff like that. There's a lot of material wealth in Haiti right now, and people don't know, man. Haiti is basically a material superpower without the actual financial wealth behind it. It's sitting on a lot of raw material and gas and oil and things like that they can't extrapolate out because somebody got their boot on their neck. And so
exactly.
And so there's a lot of things that Haiti should not be in the position that they're in right now at all. They should be very wealthy, like Dubai.
Yeah. And you know what, Mike V, what you just mentioned is what me and especially King Sigma mentioned in Mr. Research's live stream earlier today. And unfortunately, you had another culture warrior in the space who was denying that these things are true, but then started contradicting himself by stating that that the Clinton Foundation is an example of the economic ruin of Haiti. But King Sigma had to remind him that the Clinton Foundation is funded by a lot of U.S. corporations, thus proving what me and King Sigma was initially stating, which is the same argument you were making as far as the corporations just having a foothold on the material wealth of the country. But Wise Nubian, do you have anything that you would like to say, brother?
Yeah, I think that they have to pick from two greater evils. Either organized crime, both of them really are organized crime, whether it's the U.S. government or private government, meaning organized crime, to bodyguard and protect you and be able to share some of your wealth with them to get the protection you need. Why is a president being assassinated when he's supposed to have top notch uh, agents to protect his well being, and people could come in and take him out anytime they want? And why isn't he capitalizing off of all the uh, wealth that's there and being able to get the right people to harness it the right way? You got a lot of people out there who are very poor that he can hire, and they can take care of that, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, as far as what you said is how come the president can't capitalize over the material wealth in Haiti? Oh, he's capitalized off of it, all right. But just him and just a small amount of individuals in exchange to let foreign nations capitalize off of it too. So the problem is just that the Haitian people as a collective are not capitalizing off of the material wealth of that land, which is sad, which is very sad. But one of the main things that has allowed these foreign corporations or these foreign entities to have such a strong foothold on the material wealth of Haiti is that even within Haiti, the people and even the government itself is so divided against itself. That division runs so deep in Haiti to the point of the fact that you have government officials that who have a history of working side by side with foreign entities to take down their own government. This has happened throughout the history of Haiti. And you have just the people who are divided amongst themselves, who are out here killing each other and all that other stuff, and who are accepting bribe money to kill. It's a whole big ball of fuckery rolled into one. But that division runs very deep in Haiti. Mike, you was about to say something?
Yeah, I was just going to say that, what they're doing is they're draining Haiti for all of its resources and wealth. And that also means that they have to devalue the currency. And see, a lot of your leggings and Crocs and flip-flops and stuff that you see these women wear and stuff like that, a lot of that stuff gets made in Haiti. And they get paid 50 cents, 25 cents to the dollar. Because in China, the cost of transportation to ship it back and forth is too much. It's not profitable for them to do it that way. In Mexico, the cost of production would be anywhere between $3 and $4.75. And so the closest place that they can do it is in Haiti. Old Navy, Gap, Banana Republic, a lot of these bargain retail brand stores make their products down in Haiti, but they slap a different label on it as if it was made somewhere else. But in reality, they're exploiting the labor of Haitians on the ground in order to get their products to the market faster in the United States and sell it at a more profitable rate. So they're making 99% return on investment on everything that's sold there in order to do business here. And a lot of people don't realize that Black people are being highly exploited. Like slavery didn't go anywhere, man. It didn't end. I mean, it may have ended in the United States, but it's heavily involved in places like Haiti right now in the manufacturing of goods and stuff like that. Even at one point, I think fitted hats were being made down there until somebody cracked down on it.
Right. That is very correct when it comes to exploitation of the labor and even just the whole economics of that country. Yes, that is correct. And it's even to a point where even child labor, extreme child labor exists over there. And like you said, they're making about 50 cents on a dollar. And some of these workers are making maybe $2 a day or $2 per week. But the whole point is they're being exploited at such a high level that people don't even know. And it's like, even Mike V, when it comes to the Clinton Foundation that you brought up, you even have so much exploitation as far as allegedly that there's a lot of child trafficking that exists in there, allegedly. And it's been alleged that the Clinton Foundation have been involved in a lot of the child trafficking in that country, which is one main reason why in the 2016 elections, a lot of so-called Haitian Americans voted against Hillary Clinton and voted for Donald Trump out of spite, because due to what the Clinton Foundation has been tied with when it comes to the exploitation of Haiti, the Haitians did not want to support Hillary Clinton whatsoever. So it's that deep when it comes to how much foreign entities, especially the United States, have influence or stronghold in that country. But Wise Numi, are there any things you would like to say?
Well, I have no knowledge of that, so I can't really comment on it. It's something new, and I will definitely look into it to find out more about it. You know, me, I always have ideas and solutions to a lot of our problems, but until our people be ready to want to participate in making that a reality, I'm just going to kind of listen, you know?
Okay. Yeah, I think a lot of brothers have, and a few brothers have solutions, and it all comes down to, like you said, Wise, executing these solutions. But you know, I don't know when we're gonna be at that level collectively. But other than that, I'm about to end this stream. Yeah, I've been
Hey,
here
thanks
for
for having
almost.
me on, bro.
Oh, no problem. Are there any final thoughts that you would like to say, Mike and Wise Nubian?
No, I'm good.
All right. So thank you for coming on, Mike V. Thank you. Okay. So they bounce. All right. So all you people who came, all you people in the chat who came to watch and, came and gave you support, thank you. Once again, thank you, Men of Tomorrow, The Real Wise Nubian, and Mike V for coming on the panel. And shout outs to all you guys in the chat. Sir Anthony, King Maya, American Negro, Sir Anthony, Sir Yahoo, Real Deal Financial, Wadner, the Antisocial Socialite Podcast, Soul and Black, Game Changer, Charles Stewart. Shout outs to all you guys who came on the chat. Psycho Candy, shout outs to you too. Shout outs to you too, Psycho Candy. All right, so anyway, yeah, I have to go do some things. So, all right, guys, thank you for coming on. Peace.